All right, I'm back, and we're going to tour Anna Marie Horner's booth, but let's get to it before it gets too busy here and loud. So, hey, good morning to none other than the lovely Anna Maria Horner. Good morning, Anna Maria.
Good morning, Scott.
How are you?
Thanks for coming by. I'm really good. I'm standing here in our introduction of Chapter 3 Conservatory Fabrics. So this is a bit of a sneak peek because Chapter 2 is just arriving in stores now. So you can go to your quilt shops and find Chapter 2, and those are collections by myself, Natalie Latte, and Courtney Cerruti. And Chapter 3, we're back to the first artist that we launched conservatory with last year, and that's Monica Forsberg and Aruna Kunaraj of Buku.
Okay, can I interrupt you just for one
Yes.
sec before we get too far? I'm sure everyone's going to say, what is conservatory? So why don't we just give an idea of what that is?
We'll give you the highlights on
let's
conservatory.
Give them step one.
In a sense, it's a collective that I am art directing, and I'm working with 4 different artists from all over the world, one from Paris, one from London, Toronto, San Francisco, and we're designing our collections in sort of a joint presentation of colorway. So we launch in chapters. So each chapter is myself and 2 of the designers, and then later in the year it's myself and the other 2 designers. So really the collections are very individual and represent the artist and their style, but they're colored by me in a way that they work really together beautifully for your quilting. So Conservatory launches in chapters, and this is Chapter 3, and the chapter is called Wild. So it has lots of really beautiful evocative foliage and florals and naturey prints. This is Monica Forsberg's collection.
Wait, let's one sec. I love the skirt. Did you make that?
No.
No? It's cute. So
this
cute.
Is called Endless Summer, and it's her very trademark sort of Swedish flat floral and fun. She's a very prolific designer. She's actually Swedish and lives in
Would
London.
people know her for anything? Maybe?
Absolutely. She's a really popular illustrator, and she's on Instagram under just her name, Monica Forsberg, so you can look for her at. But her first collection was Savernake Road and was really popular, and it blends so beautiful into all styles of quilting. So we have her fun little animals here.
And Anna painted this. I saw her painting this. This was a blank wall. She's amazing.
And then my collection for the Wild chapter is called 1 Mile Radiant, and was entirely inspired by just florals and imagery inspired by a 1 mile radius of my own home. So this is just me going for a walk and being inspired by all the flowers and beautiful parts of Tennessee.
And for those that don't know, tell us where you live and tell us about your shop, because not everyone knows that, and I like to be showing everyone new stuff.
Thank you. So I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've had a shop there called Craft South for about 5 years, which is a real mixed craft space, mostly a fabric store, but we also have embroidery, yarns, workshops, events. We had an explosive, wonderful time at QuiltCon this past February, and got to host podcasts and designers. So
what's the address?
We're at 2516 12th Avenue South. So we're in the neighborhood called 12th Avenue.
And do you have a website?
So it's craft-south.com.
Awesome. I will love to come to your shop one day and do one of my Facebook Live tours. That would be amazing.
That would be great. So the third collection is called After the Rain, and this is by Buku. The artist is Aruna Kunaraj, and she is a screen printer by trade. She's out of Toronto and makes beautiful hand-screened home goods and accessories. And so she went a little bit more floral than her trademark geometric in this. So very naturalistic and incredibly fun to color and mix in. And we do a quilt inspiration for every single collection that there is in Conservatory. So this is the Endless Summer quilt that we designed for Monica Forsberg's collection. And on the back is the 1 Mile Radiant quilt for my collection. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every once in a while I get a shine from the light.
And this is the After the Rain quilt, which has some really cool bias strip cutting for Aruna's collection. And then we always do a 4th quilt that really represents the whole chapter and is designed to show all 3 designers in one quilt. And this kind of shows you the spread of all 3 designers horizontally and how all the fabrics work together.
Cool.
Yep.
You put together these pamphlets?
Yes, top to bottom, everything this booth, pamphlets, you name it. And I can take you around the wall here to show you the chapter quilt.
Awesome.
So we managed to pull off one quilt for the collection. So this is that chapter quilt that shows a little bit of the whole entire collection. So it has some really simple big piecing, but it also has some fun Hawaiian applique, which I've never done before. So a really fun opportunity to play with small and big pieces from the collection.
So what inspires you, Anna Maria?
I'm a nature girl, florals. I look at a lot of fashion. I look at a lot of art. But what's been really particularly exciting about doing conservatory is it's not such an incestuous thing with just my own art and my own inspirations, because I think a quilt is really built from so many sources, or at least my favorite, most beautiful ones. So I'm really enjoying getting to work with the inspirations of these other designers and kind of culling them together, just like you would when you're making a quilt from lots of different sources.
This is such a treat, guys. You have no idea. Give some hearts, Anna Marie. Anna Marie, how long have you been designing for FreeSpirit Fabrics?
15 years.
Oh,
Only
wow.
ever
Are you the longest, or?
Denise Schmidt might have me beat there by a year, but she's not here, so that doesn't count.
Okay.
Hi, Denise. I love you.
Oh, good morning, Eleanor Burns.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Look at that. We got a little sneak peek of Eleanor Burns.
So over here on this side, I'm presenting my new pattern collections, and I've just refreshed some of my existing quilt patterns and new fabrics. This is my featherbed quilt you may remember from years and years ago. We refreshed it in luminous and tambourine fabrics, and that's going to be available back on websites and on other retail shop websites now too. A lot of my PDF patterns that have only ever been available at my site are also going to be available at your favorite online stores.
Good thing it isn't hot in here. I'm not sweating too much. Check out how cool. Look at the detail. I mean, these designers are so inspiring. They're so creative. Look at this carpet. It's awesome. I know, and you do it well. That's why I'm showing it to all my fans. All right, let's keep going. You're doing awesome.
So these are some of my new garments. I have a collection called Simple Start, which
can you go on that side so we could? Yeah, let's do that, because these are awesome. And
yeah.
I think people want to see. I've been talking up garments because I think people got to do garments. It's
Absolutely.
not just about the quilts.
Well, actually, that's how I started. I had a clothing line for the first 5 years of my career, and so coming into quilting sort of had me abandoning that. But I've been doing clothing patterns ever since I've been doing this industry. And once I opened a shop and started developing classes for garment sewing, I developed a whole line of patterns called Simple Start that's all about skill building, so really basic patterns. And so these are all Simple Start patterns here. This is my new one called the Shake It Shift, because it's kind of a 60s, and this is the Shake It Shift as well. And this is actually a Chapter 2 fabric from my collection called Second Nature that's going into stores now. This is also a Chapter 2 fabric by Courtney Cerruti. And
you guys, she's given a lot of info that I could use in Jeopardy. Do you know I did a Jeopardy challenge?
Really?
Yeah, and I asked questions.
Do they have to start it with what is
exactly.
Anna Maria's Simple Start line?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a pair of shorts, we have tunics, we have some cute tanks over here that have a really nice little detail cut on the back. This is the popover tank. We have a new pencil skirt. We have some snazzy leopard trousers. These are the new Charlotte trousers.
So are there patterns for these?
Yeah,
or
I can
you're
show you
just
all the
kind of
patterns
winging
just
it?
here.
And are these your patterns? Or
Winging it, Scott. Really.
No, I mean, you could put it together. I'm sure you're good like that.
No, these are patterns.
You know what I mean.
Yep. So this is the whole lineup of the Simple Start patterns here. And from one to the next, they build skills. So these new patterns up here teach you how to install zippers 3 different ways.
And where do people find this if they want this?
Well, at their local quilt store,
okay.
At my website, annamariahorner.com.
Okay.
But these are the 3 new ones that we're introducing right here.
And look what she has here.
And
Kisses for all you guys. But look out, what I noticed this before. What is this, Anna?
Oh, well, that's what the pattern paper looks like, and we just decorated the booth with it.
It's so cool. It's just neat. Yeah. It's very cool. All right, where we go next?
I don't know.
We didn't really talk about these 2 quilts, and I don't think we did the quilts on the other side, but we'll
go
have to
back
skip
and
those,
see those
if you want to.
No, it's fine. So
wait, how about these? We didn't do anything about this.
Yeah, so these are all my quilt patterns that are on my website, and this is one of my original quilt patterns called the Gathering Flowers quilt. Look how cool that is. So this is the pattern here. This is the original pattern here that I designed for Little Folks and Good Folks. Some of you might remember from 2008 maybe. So it teaches you a patchwork flower in curves, but then it also teaches you this fun sculptural ruched flower, which is really fantastic for those lighter weight luminous fabrics, the yarn dyes, because quilting cotton is too thick and chunky to be able to do that.
And it gives a 3-dimensional.
Yeah, which is why we added these fun little pom-poms.
Yeah, the little pom-poms. Very cute.
Yeah, and this is one of mine called 3-Part Harmony that just is all about value, using darks and lights in quilts. And then this one on the wall, with the exception of maybe the featherbed quilt, this is probably the most popular pattern I've ever designed, and it's called Color Dive. And again, that's only ever been a PDF on my website, but shops are now able to start selling these this summer, starting in June. And it's such a simple design, really simple patchwork. And here we've made it up in the Chapter 2 conservatory fabrics plus some FreeSpirit solids.
Do you quilt your own quilts?
Not machine quilting. This one was done by my friend Cindy Luby, who's really talented.
Okay. Where is she, in Tennessee?
Nope, she's actually in Virginia, close to DC.
Okay.
So, and then this is a new version of my flight map quilt. The original one is this pattern right here. This is the original. And then this one is actually a selection of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 fabrics with conservatory. So when I say chapters, I'm talking about our conservatory launches. So because it's both chapters, it actually represents all 5 designers in conservatory.
Okay, for anyone joining us, I'm here with Anna Marie Horner at the International Quilt Market in Kansas City. We're at her booth. We're kind of probably getting close to winding down her tour. She's talking about her conservatory, which basically is she works with a group of designers and they curate groups that coordinate nicely together.
I do. In fact, we didn't show you those quilts before.
Let's do it.
So let's have a look at these. So as I mentioned, the Chapter 2 fabrics by myself and Natalie Latte and Courtney Cerruti are in shops now, just arriving, and these are the quilt patterns. This is all Natalie Latte's collection called Souvenir. It's inspired by her summer trips to Bavaria when she was a little girl. Really evocative, painterly artist. This is my Second Nature quilt down here. My Second Nature collection is all 2-color prints.
Why do you call it Second Nature?
You know, 2 Second Nature, 1, 2. All the prints only have 2 colors, so it's called Second Nature.
Okay.
And also very hand-drawn, naturalistic florals. So.
And then we have this one.
This is the chapter quilt with all 3 of ours. So you can see some of my Second Nature fabrics here, Natalie's, as well as Courtney Cerruti's really cute portrait fabric here.
So the conservatory, they do stuff together and they do stuff alone. So
that's right.
Really
so they do
nice
individual.
mix.
Yep, they do their own individual collections, but I color them to work together. This is the long distance quilt made from Courtney Cerruti's fabrics. So Courtney does a lot of really experimental type art, a lot of surface design, a lot of Japanese dyed folded papers called arizamagami, which I have to practice. So we
What is it called?
Arizamagami.
Oh, that will not be a Jeopardy
Yeah.
question. It'll be all night before someone gets that one.
So, so she's a very experimental and beautiful artist, and her first collection really emulates all that kind of diversity that she does in her media. So these are in stores now, so go to your local quilt shop to look for the Chapter 2 collection.
All right, Anna, this was awesome. You rock.
you.
How about a bow for everyone in a wave? There you go. Everyone, sing about Anna.
Hi.
All right, I'm signing off. All right, everybody, see you later. We'll be back. Maybe I'll get Tula. See ya.